What's happening everyone, TomGorian here and welcome back to episode 8 of the F123 Haas to Glory. This is the series where I take Haas from a struggling midfield team and make them all the way to world champions of Formula 1. Check out the previous videos in the links in the description, and also check out the playlist to stay up to date, and make sure to like, share, comment and subscribe for more F123 gameplay content, and also click the bell on the subscription bar so you never miss an upload. Right, we are getting ready for our home away from home, because this team is an American team and we are a British driver, which means it's only one thing. It's the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, and at the time of making this recording we are roughly literally on the same timeline. So as of this recording we have now officially passed the real life British Grand Prix. So we are coming into this episode knowing that we are now literally in the midfield. We are now closing in on the top teams, Aston Martin and Mercedes, and we've got a couple of big upgrades coming in the way. We've got over 1,200 resource points that we need to spend, and as you can see we've got a lot of upgrades to come this weekend. We've got a front wing upgrade, we've got a gearbox upgrade I think from Ferrari, but we begin this episode with the ending of the department events from the last video. We get 1,000 acclaim, and most importantly we get the gearbox and also the front wing upgrades done, so they will be on the car for the British Grand Prix. We get the resource points, generation upgrade comes, and we're still behind Aston Martin, but we're now slowly but surely starting to catch them, and also Mercedes as well. We still need to do something about the chassis, because as you can see we have the second wear chassis, and you know, surprisingly we've actually done well considering that we won in Monaco, and there is confirmation that we have the front wing upgrade, which is just solely front downforce. We're going to try and get this front wing gurney upgrade, which is drag reduction. But the most important ones that I want is really the roll dampers for the tyre wear, because the Haas has the worst tyre wear out of all of them. And if you don't believe me, just watch an F123 race where the Haas is absolutely awful in race trim because of its tyres. So we need to sort that out. I think tyre wear as far as the chassis is concerned is the main problem, but just weight, redistribution and maybe even weight reduction is the most important thing. If we can get literally the fuel tank positioning and the heavy dampers upgrades before maybe Belgium or Monza is concerned, then that will be really important in this season of Haas to Glory. So there is confirmation about what we're going to do for our next upgrades. The roll dampers, we're going to go in tyre wear order, and then I think every 2 or 3 tyre wear upgrades we're going to do a weight upgrade, and I think that's the best way of trying to improve the chassis of this car. But we have a chassis upgrade fail. The improved energy store cells have failed, and that's the one that we wanted, because if we get that one, that was the biggest upgrade that we wanted. That was the major one. If we got that upgrade we would have been ahead of AlphaTauri and Alpine, and on par with Aston Martin, McLaren and Williams. And now because that's failed, we've now had to that's put us back. And at least we get the ignition system for the Belgium Grand Prix, but that upgrade has set us back a little bit, especially in slower speed corners. We're going to have to get that one for Belgium. But it's time to do the business. It's a home away from home. It's the British Grand Prix. So let's get this show on the road with qualifying for the British Grand Prix. Literally in practice, pace was quite well in practice. Literally was in the top 5 in FP1 and FP3, and it did minimal running in FP2 because it started to rain. But coming in towards the end of our first lap, we do a 26 flat, believe it or not. And I think in the RFL League race I did, I wasn't doing 26s, or I was doing high 26s, so I think with these upgrades and with the setup I've got on right here, right now, we have massively improved. And as you can see, we might be starting in the top 3 as we get ready for this final lap here in qualifying. Less than 30 seconds to go for qualifying for this British Grand Prix. Turn 1 flat out, turn 2 also flat out, and now braking 75 metres in towards turn 3. Clip the apex, you get a little bit of understeer, then go as wide as possible for turn 4. Early shift in towards third gear for best traction, and now in towards the Wellington straight. We're literally more than half a tenth up as we enter Wellington and now in towards Luffield. Braking at 50 metres, trying to literally brake and turn. And then from Luffield in towards Brooklands Corner, third gear, you just want to hold and ride the throttle as you try and get a good acceleration in towards the old start finish straight. And as you can see, just over a tenth up as we enter Cops Corner. It's a slight flat out, literally in 8th gear. Now entering Maggots and Beckett's. This is where you can win or lose a lot of time. And as you can see, we're literally doing quite well. We went a little bit wide on the exit and we've lost, I'd say half a tenth as we enter literally the final couple of corners in towards Hanger and then in towards Stowe. Literally 5th gear, I couldn't really go into 6th and we've lost again more time, but entering the Vale chicane, 3rd gear, go a little bit wide, but we literally make it back up again on the exit and we're literally just over 2.5 tenths. Across the line we go for 2 tenths improvement, but it's P7. That's P7 on the grid for the British Grand Prix. Oh man, that's disappointing. Considering that we literally started the final lap in 3rd place, but look at the gaps between us and Charles Leclerc on pole, less than 3 tenths. That's impressive considering the gap between me and Fernando Alonso, which is 4 tenths. We'll take that. 7th place for the British Grand Prix and less than a tenth behind Max Verstappen. I'll take that for the race. So, without further ado, let's do this. Let's go to the race.
We meet again at Silverstone for one of the great Formula One races of the entire calendar. With a barely believable capacity crowd creating a phenomenal atmosphere, it is time for a race that puts a smile on your face. It is time for the British Grand Prix. Let's have a look at the circuit. 18 corners, 3.6 miles. The DRS detection zones are at Village and Maggots, that's turn 3 and turn 11. Cops Corner, turn 9 is taken as near to flat out as you dare. It is a test of the driver's bravery out there. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and the smooth operator Carlos Sainz completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Russell, Verstappen, Thomas, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Norris, Joe, Gasly, Bottas, Magnussen, Perez, Ocon, Albon, Sargent, Tsunoda, De Vries and Oscar Piastri. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And Anthony Davidson joins us for this one. And great to have your company. There's no weather to worry about here. What will be going through the drivers' minds as they finish these last-minute preparations?
Well, I imagine they'll be starting to feel the adrenaline as they anticipate the run down into turn 1, a bit like preparing to go into battle. The unknown situation will bring nerves, but that's a good thing. It will keep...
Race show plus shut up Anthony Davidson. Right, time for the British Grand Prix. Strategy is very important around here because of the pit lane speed. It's a simple one-stop. We're going to go from, I believe, the mediums towards the hards for this race. But because of our tyre wear, that's so bad, we can't do the optimum strategy, which is the mediums to softs for the end of this race. We're going to increase the tyre pressures just a little bit by 0.1 psi, just simply because of the forecast. It's overcast, so which means the track is going to get colder, and we can put more load into the pressures, which means higher temperatures. As you can see, there's a lot of mix as far as which tyre the driver is going to be on. As you can see, Leclerc, Sainz on medium, Hamilton on softs, Russell on medium, and then going down in towards the latter field, Magnussen, Perez, Ocon on medium, Sargent and Albon on soft, and then Tsunoda, De Vries and Piastri are also on medium tyres, I think, for this race.
Here we go then. The formation lap is underway and the track temperature looks warm, and that may or may not play into some of the team's hands for today's race. So as all the cars reform the grid, the drivers will be hoping to get a strong start. They'll want to earn some valuable points from today's race, with final communications being done with their race engineers, ensuring their planned strategies are all in place.
Well, actually, at the recording of this video, Daniel Ricciardo has been officially confirmed as the replacement of Nick de Vries for the AlphaTauri. So we should be getting an update very soon, swapping Daniel Ricciardo and Nick de Vries around for this race. So from P7 on the grid, we've got a very competitive car, and hopefully we can literally end this race with a double points finish. It's the British Grand Prix for 5 red lights. Lights out in Silverstone, and away we go. It's a great start from us though. Fernando has bogged down, so is Verstappen, and we enter turn 1 in 4th place. We make contact with George Russell, but Leclerc leads with Hamilton in 2nd, Carlos Sainz in P3 as we enter towards turn 3, and we're going to try to get the best run. We're going to take a bit of a switchback approach. Not really enough room to try and get an optimal switchback as we try and get on towards the hangar straight, but look at the speed of Carlos Sainz compared to us, and even though we have technically the best engine on the grid, we still don't have enough straight line speed to compete with the Ferraris. And at this moment, I kind of realised that I think I've went too much as far as the downforce of the setup is concerned. I think I went too high on the wings, so should have went 1- for this race. But as you can see, lap 4. And we're still keeping up with the Ferraris, but we're just slowly gaining outside of the DRS. Here comes George Russell in towards Stowe Corner. It's side by side between me and him. It's the Battle of Britain. Who's going to win out here? As we enter Vale Chicane, he still tries to hold it on the outside. And as you can see, we just about hold off George Russell in the Mercedes. But this battle is going to continue, and this was the worst thing I could have done, as George Russell is going to come at us again on the inside in towards Luffield, and he gets the position. He moves over on us a little bit, and we make contact, and that's not really a good sign from us as we exit Brooklands on towards the start, as we enter the old start finish straight. But yeah, battling with George Russell was the worst thing we could have done, just simply because of the time that we lost. And as you can see, look how much time we're losing compared to the Ferraris and Lewis Hamilton. We're literally losing like what, 5 tenths a lap, and the gap is already 2.3 seconds, so we are out of the Ferrari's DRS unless we try and get back at George Russell. And as you can see on the hangar straight, and we're going to go on towards the outside line in towards Stowe Corner once again. I think it's the optimum line to be on, outside, and you cut inwards as you go down the hill in towards Vale. Now on lap 9, and as you can see, look how much understeer we're getting because of the tyre wear. And I do believe that the reason why we have one of the worst chassis is simply because of the tyre wear. And I think once we have the tyre wear sorted, as we go around the outside of Russell, again in towards Luffield, I think the tyre wear is the main reason why our chassis isn't that good. But I think once we sort out the tyre wear, I think our chassis will dramatically improve in the next couple of races. Russell goes back at us, around the outside in towards Stowe Corner. He tries to hold it around the outside after we make contact, but there's no room there as we enter Vale. And as you can see, look at the train that we're forming. Me, Russell, I think Fernando, but they're starting to just fade away now because of the DRS adjustment. There's a green flag there, yellow flag somewhere as Russell retakes 4th place, exiting Brooklands and in towards Luffield, and there's still a yellow flag, so I don't know who that is coming out towards Luffield, and I think it's not Mercedes, but as you can see, that is Lando Norris in the McLaren. Lando Norris, who finished P3 in the real life race, is out of the British Grand Prix in this Haas to Glory career mode, so that's very disappointing for the McLaren fans in attendance of over 400,000. in this British Grand Prix. But lap 11, once again, DRS just swapping positions with George Russell. He actually holds on in towards Stowe Corner, believe it or not. So now we have to try and fight back in towards Vale, and we think better of it because we're just losing so much time. Speaking of time, Verstappen, Hamilton, they've boxed, and I think Sainz has also boxed as well. So coming on towards lap 12, on the beginning of lap 13, we overtake George Russell once again as we enter Stowe Corner, and now we have to come in for our pit stop. Literally, Russell stays out, so we are going to literally do the undercar on this game, and we just about get it within the speed limit of 60. No, it's 37. Sorry, 37 miles per hour. I think it's more than that in real life. Is it? I think it's like 60 miles an hour now. I'm not sure. But as we come in for this pit stop, we want to press Y now, and as you can see, 2.3, 2.4 estimated stop time. Can we get somewhere like that? We get a slight hold. It should have been 2.3, but I think it was like a 2.8 or maybe even a 2.9. But we have lost time on the release, and now we are going towards the end of this race. I think Bottas is coming in as well, and I think that's the Williams of Logan Sargent. Sargent is in, and I think Albon is coming out of turn 1, so we've literally jumped Albon and Gasly as we now come in towards sector 1. Hamilton sets the fast lap of a race of 1:28.4, and look at the gap between Hamilton and us as we literally exit the final corner of this British Grand Prix. So now, here's the question. Have we done enough to jump George Russell in the pits? No. No, we haven't. If anything, he's actually extended. How the hell has that happened? How the hell have we actually lost time to the Mercedes when trying to undercut? That was annoying. I thought literally the meta of this game was to undercut, and we haven't done that at all. So that's very annoying. And as you can see, we jumped. Well, we retained position over Perez, but Perez was ahead of us, and as you can see, he's now overtaken us. So now, at this point of the race, my focus shifts. If I can't keep up with the faster guys, Perez, Verstappen, you know, Russell, the Mercedes, let me see if I can try and hold up Stroll, Albon and Gasly so that Magnussen can finish in the points. So hopefully by the end of this race we can have a double Haas points finish for this British Grand Prix. I do lose the back end now just a little bit on the exit of turn number 4. As you can see, Lance Stroll tries to go around the outside. We do a double move there, but the FAA don't really see anything to that. As Nick de Vries has retired from this British Grand Prix, and just like in real life, he is probably going to get sacked by AlphaTauri and Red Bull, and he's going to get replaced by Daniel Ricciardo because he's had a stinker of a season so far. Lap 23, 3 laps to go of this British Grand Prix, and Stroll once again can't really make the move on us. He just doesn't have the straight line speed that we do as we enter towards Vale, and this part of the track was where I was really holding him up. If I could like get Albon in towards like a second, or like try and make a 2.5 indent on Stroll's gap to Albon, then that is what I was really focused on for this race. And as long as they didn't hold or lose position to Lance Stroll, then that's what I wanted to try and do. Hold up Stroll to the point where, you know, Gasly, Albon, and also Magnussen came closing in to the point where they could finish in the lower ends of the top 10. And as you can see, lap 25, we're slowing down dramatically. We're lifting off, and as you can see, there's that train of Gasly, Albon and Magnussen as we begin the final lap of this race. We're going defensive automatically to make sure Albon doesn't get anything on us in this race. But as you can see, Magnussen goes on the inside of Lance Stroll, and the plan has worked. Kevin Magnussen is now in towards 10th place as Lewis Hamilton, for the 9th time, has won the British Grand Prix. How the hell did Ferrari bottle that? They literally had a 1-2. How did Ferrari literally bottle a British Grand Prix win? That's crazy. But anyway, coming in towards Vale, Perez 6th, Alonso 7th. We're going to hold up the train even more, but Magnussen can't do anything. It's going to be an 8th and 10th place for the British Grand Prix. We'll take that. Double points finish.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
That's it for another Grand Prix and a fantastic win for Mercedes. And talk to me. What do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
Yes, a double points finish at Silverstone as Hamilton wins his 9th British Grand Prix at Silverstone. He won in 2008 and then 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, and now he's won in 23, with Ferrari coming 2nd and 3rd on the podium. We have a double points finish of 8th and 10th, and yes, we started 7th and we could have finished maybe 4th or 5th, but we just didn't have the pace to compete against, you know, the Ferraris and the Red Bulls and, you know, the Mercedes as well. Even though we had a mega fight with George Russell, and as you can see, Russell finished 5th, literally 9 seconds away from the race lead, and we finished 27 seconds, even though we literally intended to slow down to help Kevin Magnussen out. There's the drivers. We are 43 points behind Sergio Perez, who now leads the championship. That's quite mad. And Magnussen gets 1 point. But that's that for episode 8 of the F1 23 Haas to Glory. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more F1 23 gameplay and Haas to Glory, league racing and all that other stuff. What a fun race that was. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. In a bit.